So a lot of you may not know this. I don't talk about it often because I don't focus on what happened to me. I don't focus on my trauma. I don't focus on those things. I focus on what I need to do to get better, to heal, to cope better in life, to get out of the unhealthy coping mechanisms and survival mode. That is where I keep myself, is striving. I don't keep myself in a place of woe is me. Never have. And I mean, there's been periods of time. I mean, it's okay to be there. It's just not okay to stay there. And I don't stay there. So I don't talk about it a lot and I don't harp on it a lot. But I have a lot of knowledge when it comes to narcissistic abuse. I was raised by two heavily narcissistic parents, and I've been in therapy for 5 years recovering from this. It's not easy. It's probably one of the hardest things in my life I've had to do. I recently, last night, or actually this morning, woke up with a severe panic attack, throwing up, sobbing, screaming in the shower. I tried not to let myself go there, but I opened up a portal. I reached out to my father to tell him that I loved him. And he read it. And he ignored it. And I tried to prepare myself before I reached out that would likely happen. But I don't think that you can really prepare yourself when you've made tons of excuses. I keep making excuses that it's just my mom, because I've already mourned my mom. But now I'm mourning my dad. As far as I'm concerned, my dad died on February 6, 2025. And I don't have a dad anymore. I haven't had a dad in 2 years. I had to put separation there because my parents heavily made me want to unalive myself for many years. And while I know that they were good providers, I grew up with a silver spoon in my mouth. I grew up with everything I needed and wanted. They provided very well. They took care of their children, and I will give them that 100%. But when it came to emotionally and being there emotionally for their children, they were not. The only way that they know how to show love is through monetary things, by giving. And then if they're not reciprocated with that, if they're not put on a pedestal and doted on, they don't want to acknowledge their shortcomings, and I don't really want them to acknowledge. I just want them to stop doing that. Being ignored is one of the hardest things for me. It's a huge, huge trigger for me. And especially when I haven't done anything wrong. At least it's easier to rationalize when I've done something wrong. It's hard to rationalize when I love somebody and I just show love and they ignore me. It's hard. But I am okay. And I'm making this video for those of you today who go through this. Stop settling for it. Stop letting people tell you to mend the relationship before it's too late. It's just like people saying get right with God before he comes back. It's a terrible thing. There's no getting right with God. You don't have to get right with God. God loves you unconditionally, and he knows the hardships and the struggles that you go through, and all he wants is a relationship with you. That's it. You don't have to be right with him. There's nothing to do right. There's nothing to do wrong. And I needed to get that out today. So if you're in a friendship or have a family relationship with somebody that expects you to get right with them or grovel and be on your knees, you don't need it. You don't need it. So, that's all I wanted to say. I love all of you unconditionally. I will always love unconditionally. Namaste.